are you doing today? Doing pretty good. Oh, really? What's going on? Oh yeah, I heard about it. I went to the meeting and I was not thrilled to learn about that, so I completely understand. What's going on? Like what happened? Are you serious? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry. I know that must be so difficult for you. What's your time frame looking like? Oh, okay. Well, oh, well, I'm gonna miss you so much. I've enjoyed working with you for these past few years, and I definitely, you gotta do what's best for you. But I'm gonna miss you so much. Oh, really? I didn't know that. So what department are you thinking about next? Okay, okay. Yeah, I think that would be a really good field for you. You're so compassionate and you're very, kind. So I feel like that would be a very good fit. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've done that before. Um, it was pretty enjoyable. Um, it took some time to get used to, but I think, with anything, change is never going to be super easy, but um, it's adaptable. You can adapt, over time. Yeah, I know. And I was gonna say, one thing I do, especially because you sound so stressed out and I know what you're going through, I completely understand. One thing I do whenever I'm stressed out is I try to center myself and like become grounded with my present circumstances. So if I find myself like too focused on the past or too focused on the future, I try to like get a good, you know, understanding of my present circumstances. And also, one thing I've been learning or trying to do is working on how I view control. I think I've always been the type of person who's wanted to have control over things, and so not having that control has been very difficult to cope with. Um, but then, just once you do release and once you like surrender that idea, like you've got to be the one forcing things to happen, you can go with the flow a lot better, a lot easier, is what I've found. Um, what are some of the things that you feel like is like inhibiting you from being able to move forward with your goals and your desires? Oh yeah, I know how that is. Yeah. Mm. And that's especially challenging because sometimes, like, as much as we want something, we can often be like our own worst enemy. Um, but that's why it's like you really have to, you know, take a step out of like the rat race, what they say, like, because you're in this like rut, like you're doing the same things over and over again, making the same mistakes, getting the same outcomes, and then you're like devastated because you don't know what to do to like get out of that. But you have to like sit down and stop moving as much. Like, one thing I do is I take time to spend out in nature, go for a little walk or something, and I just clear my mind of all the, negative things, all the things that are worrying me at that moment in time. And I just try to overall, just find a very good way to, release that tension. So sometimes I might sing, I might write a poem, write music, something like that, just to get those stressors like out onto paper so you can see them. And then also just identifying like that what you're going through, people have gone through for years. Like people, we all go through this cycle all the time. Just everybody hits it at different points in their life, but we all go through the same cycle. So we might be sitting here thinking, oh, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? Like, why can't I make progress? Why can't I make these steps? But if you think about where you were 2 years ago and where you are now, oftentimes, unless you really, aren't making good decisions, oftentimes you're in a better place than you were a few years ago. Like, how do you feel like you were, when you first came onto the job? Like, where do you feel like you were with your life and everything you had going on versus where you are now? I agree with you. I was just thinking that too because of COVID. Like everybody kind of had this like game plan. I had one. We had this game plan where like, yep, 2020 is gonna look like this, and it was like not. It was not okay. Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like that's the one thing like why, changing your view of control is important, because if you are so concerned like, oh, I have to have control over this, that, and the other, what happened in 2020? We lost control of everything. We had no control over anything really. Like there was a small amount that we could, but the most of the stuff was like out of our control. We couldn't change, anything. Like it was a whole pandemic, and we're still kind of going through that right now. So it's like just having a balanced view of change and also acceptance, like accepting things the way they are and not feeling like you have to be the one to, get to this point or get everybody to this point. Like just focus on yourself, and not always like feel like, because sometimes I do this to myself. Like I feel like, oh, I could be doing this or I could be doing that. I could be doing so much better. But it turns out that it's like I'm doing fine. Like I'm doing fine now. You just have to acknowledge that you're doing fine. Yes, you can do better, and you will. You will in time. Just give it time. And people, we don't feel like we have time. It's the one thing you can't get back is time. But you got to take time to make time in a way. If you take time now to, make the necessary changes, you're giving yourself more time in the future if you think about it. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to type this up before the meeting. I'm so tired of these meetings. Yeah, it's a proposal that I'm gonna offer, and I just hope that it doesn't like get too many markups or markdowns, whatever. Can I check yours out too, really quickly? Oh, you do? Okay, you can just email it to me then. That's fine. You can just email it to me. Oh, shoot. You know what? I've got to make a phone call really quick, but it was so good talking with you. I really, I wish you the best in all the things that you have going on, and I hope that, life gets better for you. I hope that things, go more positively for you. So thank you so much for talking with me, and, I hope that I was able to, offer some sort of advice that you can maybe find helpful, okay? All right, I'm gonna go make this phone call, but I'll meet you in the meeting, okay? All right.